They were staying at a friend's apartment in the city of Stewart, which is in Martin County. And like a lot of people in the 70s, they mostly got around by hitchhiking. And this is what they were doing that day. They had spent that day at the beach and they were just trying to
I do
hitchhike
a
back to the
lower
apartment that they
level
were
right
staying
here.
in Stewart. And unfortunately, this is when they met John Schaefer. So when John saw the two girls on the side of the road, he stopped and he told the girls that it was illegal to hitchhike, which after my research, it doesn't sound like that was even true. It sounds like in that area of Florida, hitchhiking was actually not illegal, and in the areas where it was considered illegal, the laws weren't strictly enforced at that time. But the girls didn't know this.
I have to come
John
down here.
offered to give the girls a ride home, and they accepted and they got into the car. Nancy and Sue said that he was actually
Hold
very
on.
nice to them while they were on the way back to the apartment, and he even offered to come back by the next day. They had plans to go to the beach again, and he said, I'll just come pick you up and I'll drop you off at the beach. That way you have a safe ride and you don't have to hitchhike. So they made plans to meet up the next day, and John left. So the next day, John shows up and he picks them up at a nearby park, which is where they had planned to meet. Except this time, he was wearing normal clothes, like street clothes. And he wasn't driving his patrol car, he was driving a light blue Datsun. And when the girls asked him why he wasn't in uniform and in his patrol car, he said, "Oh, well, today I'm just working as a plainclothes cop. I'm just observing the area." And the girls accepted this explanation, and Nancy got into the front seat, and Sue crawled into the back seat. And John started heading down the road. John asked the girls if they wanted to stop and see an old Spanish fort on the way. The girls said yes, so he turned off on this little dirt road that led to this wooded area on Hutchinson Island. Then they
I
drove
need
and
some
drove
water.
until they came to this Spanish fort, and they got out of the car and they kind of walked around it. They went inside, kind of checked it out a little bit, and the girls, they just wanted to get to the beach, so they were just kind of feigning interest in this Spanish fort. But eventually they tell John, we're ready to go to the beach, so they climb back into the car. But John didn't go anywhere. They were just kind of sitting in the car, and John started acting really strange. He started asking the girls all these random questions. He asked them about this halfway house that was near the apartment that they were staying in. He started asking them about drugs, like where he could find drugs in the Stewart area, all this stuff. And the girls didn't know. They had only been in town for a couple of days, so they didn't know the answer to any of the questions that he was asking them. At this point, they noticed that his whole demeanor had changed. He was no longer this calm, nice guy. He was almost aggressive. Then suddenly he just stopped asking questions and he says, quote, "I could dig a hole and bury you. No crime without a victim." The girls weren't really taking him seriously at this point, though. They were more just getting annoyed because it was extremely hot in this car. This is the middle of the summer in Florida, and they're just sitting in this hot car and they just want to go to the beach. But John wasn't showing any signs of leaving the woods. Then he tells the girls that he's going to have to put them under arrest because he's considering them runaways. He told Nancy to dump her purse out onto the seat of his car. He pulled out some handcuffs from between the seats. Then he forced the girls out of the car. He made them put their hands behind their backs and he handcuffed them. He then put the girls back into the car and he started just spouting off all kind of random things. He started telling them that he was going to sell them into white slavery. He started asking them if their parents would pay ransom, just really off the wall stuff. And he was getting really angry because he wasn't getting a significant reaction out of the girls. At this point, they had just kind of shut down. They just weren't talking anymore. So he forced them back out of the car. They're still handcuffed at this point. He opens up the trunk of his car and he pulls out rope and sheets. He had obviously come prepared to do something really bad to the girls that day. He then warned the girls that if one of them tried to run, he would kill the other one, and then he would track the one that ran down and he would kill her too. He gagged both of the girls, and then he brought Sue out to a nearby field and he tied her legs together, and then he looped the rope around her shoulders as well so she couldn't really move. Now, while all of this is going on, Nancy is handcuffed and she's gagged, but she still could have ran at this point. She wasn't tied up. But she was too afraid to run, and she didn't want
Guys,
to
it's
leave
too
Sue,
warm.
so she just stood there and waited for John to
I'm
be
gonna do this
done
later. It's
dealing
getting a
with
bit
Sue so
warm.
he could come and tie her up. And once he had Sue tied up, he went and
Like,
grabbed
comment, subscribe.
Nancy
I'll
and
see you
he
guys in the
walked
next video.
down to a nearby river, which would
Peace out. Thank you for watching. See ya.